While gimmicks may not be as prevalent as they used to be, there's no garbage men wrestlers anymore, for example, let us not pretend they are not important. I mean, switching things up saw the Ringmaster become Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rocky Maivia become The Rock, and Chavo Guerrero become Kerwin White. Forget that last one. The point is, a well-timed change can see you off to superstardom, even if it's just because your current one has run its course. That's no one's fault, that's just life. It's like someone asking you why over and over again. Sooner or later, you just want to punch that why guy in the face. I'm Simon from What Culture. This is 10 WWE stars who desperately need some new gimmicks. Number 10, Carmela. You can't knock Carmela. Not only did she outlast Enzo and Cass, which nobody predicted, but she's a Money in the Bank winner, a former champion, and also a winner of the Women's Battle Royale. That was a good CV. But right now, Carmela feels a little bit lost in the shuffle. Her relationship with R-Truth, as they got into all kinds of 24/7 title shenanigans, seemed to be going in a good direction when she won that belt from her best friend. That ended faster than a Mojo Rawley angle, and ever since she's kinda just been floating around on SmackDown. And she's not to blame for that, of course, but as we do have this situation, why not sit her down and come up with something new? Right now, I just describe her as a good babyface. There's loads more you can do above that. I mean, we've teased some sort of tag team with her and Dana Brooke recently. Not really a gimmick, but again, if you think there's something there, let's feel it out and see where it goes, rather than just doing the same thing every darn week. It is time. Number 9, Nikki Cross. You could say that Nikki Cross has changed gimmicks in recent memory, as from nowhere she went from a crazed loon insanity to Alexa Bliss's best friend. Quite like that pairing, but there was no reason as to why that happened, and she still comes out to her manic frenzy theme music. I think that sums it up. You know, there's something there with Cross too, as she was able to survive the usual NXT Carl call-up. She's still going strong, and again, her tag team with Alexa works. It's as simple as that. Here is the thing though. Twice now I've described her as Bliss's buddy, and that is doing Nikki Cross a huge disservice. She needs her own personality and path, which could easily be done. And then you can use her a little bit more too. She can do tag stuff, break off into a singles program, go after the title should you wish. Never underestimate the power of personality. All it would take is a slight reshuffle, and WWE could even have you believing that Nikki is gonna become the SmackDown title holder. Plant that seed and you're halfway there. Whoa, whoa, living on a prayer. Number 8, Johnny Gargano. For years, many fans have worried about Johnny Gargano going to the main roster. A mainstay down in NXT, people fear that a proper call-up to Raw or SmackDown would see him fall foul to Vince McMahon's personal preferences, and that's not what anybody wants. It's also important to accept this worry is justified. Just go into the past. Even if this doesn't happen, you could argue that Johnny still could do with a freshening up. Sure, he recently turned proper heel on Tommaso Ciampa, but we flirted with that idea before, and while fun, it probably has its own shelf life in its current guise. That is, of course, unless we add a few more bells to the act. Look at Pac, for example. He's gone the whole hog with his bastard character and now feels like someone utterly different than he used to. Almost like he's his own brother. If we're taking Gargano down this road, let's not muck around and throw in some true thought into how it changes everything to do with him. So it's not just a comic book fan who liked the heroes and now like the villains, he's a proper asshole that has disdain for everyone who doesn't see his point of view. Give it serious legs, and this will fly. Number 7, Apollo Crews. I don't even know what Apollo Crews' gimmick is, to be honest. He's just happy, smiley guy who last time I checked wasn't a fan of Shorty G. That didn't go very far now, did it? It's kind of crazy because he's so damn athletic and unique, you think WWE will want to come up with something. Anything. Hell, give him a job gimmick at this point. Could make him a judge, he comes out with a gavel, beats people with the life sentence. I'll take Goofy. I will take Goofy. Outside of this too, his character seems to be the dude that just loses. He marched to the ring with real intent recently on an episode of SmackDown, and Sheamus beat him like he was a lame goat. So can we at least give him something, anything? I don't think we've even tried to since he came to the main roster. Well, he was the human highlight reel for a week, but then WWE didn't let him record any highlights. I think you should leave WWE, Apollo. They ain't doing you right. Number 6, Rusev. Ruru, the best person on the roster and yet someone who was forced into a brick wall over and over again. I don't get it at all. The main reason for that too is because he has everything to make it in WWE. He looks like he can kick your ass, can talk, has a lovable quality about him, says ridiculous things that make you laugh. It seems so obvious, and yet the powers that be don't properly pull the trigger. It doesn't help that the storylines he is put in are average at best. The whole thing with Lana, Dolph Ziggler and Summer Rae was unreal. We kind of repeated that with Lana and Bobby Lashley in 2020. If it wasn't for Rusev, all of these angles would have died a death, but he somehow managed to keep them going far longer than anybody else would have. So he doesn't need a total overhaul, he's there, he's arrived. WWE just needs to get behind him properly and come up with a plan that takes him to the top. And no, being a screwed over husband is not one of them. Number 5, Liv Morgan. I know, Liv Morgan just went through a gimmick change, but here's the $1 million question. Who is she? What is this change? Answers on a postcard. I'm gonna guess a lot come through blank, because I don't have a clue. It seemed like she was going to be the lesbian lover of Lana for a while, but WWE dropped that quicker than a fake spider being Eric Rowan's best friend, and now she's just, I don't even know, lost in the shuffle within weeks of a big makeover. It's unfair to Morgan as well because she has a ton of upside, very much like Rusev, just needs to be supported, but right now that isn't the case. It means as I say these words, she's feuding with her old Riot Squad buddies, and once more, I don't know what the deal is. It's simply because they used to be friends. That's it. That's the idea. There is plenty of time for WWE to make good with Morgan as she's only 25 years old, but that is still no excuse for all this teasing and then changing tact almost instantly. Pick a plan and stick to it, damn it. Number 4, King Corbin. Not gonna lie, Baron Corbin has won me over. He's so dedicated to the King gimmick right now, down to wearing his costume during backstage segments, that I think it's kind of funny. Throw yourself into anything with such aplomb, it grows on me. It just does. The problem now is that it's not really developing, and it is a gimmick we've seen a lot in the past. The King of the Ring tournament was also ages ago now, and that's barely referenced on TV. So when you tune in cold, there's just a dude in a crown. No one tells you why anymore. That's not to say we can't freshen this up within a few weeks thanks to a new concept, although with that said, it equally may be time to come up with something different. I still think there's mileage with that whole lone wolf persona that guy flipping rocked. No reason it couldn't be revisited. Number 3, Mojo Rawley. What did Mojo Rawley do? He was a hype bro for 7 seconds, then a dude who hated mirrors but loved having a blue face for 8 seconds, and 24/7 champion for a grand total of 9 seconds. Then he vanished every time with no reason or as to, once again, why. He randomly turned up on SmackDown recently yelling about Rob Gronkowski signing with WWE, and while I know they're friends, it's all just so mad and non-stop. Why is he never allowed time to try and make something work? The secret to all of this is that Mojo has done as best as he can with all of the above, which likely means he has something. It just needs to be nurtured, or more specifically, actually allowed to grow in the first place. He's Mr. Boy Who Cried Wolf at this stage. You can't buy into his stories because you don't know how long they'll be around. How stupid is that? Hopefully the arrival of Gronkowski will help, but Mojo not only needs a new gimmick, but one he can actually have some time with. And please, WWE, if you could explain the blue goop, I'd really appreciate it. Number 2, Big E. Big E is great and I won't hear anything else. The New Day as an actor, one of the most successful of recent times, and the man is a treasure. Some of the things he says are pure money, and he should be protected from now until the end of time. The truth is though, everything has an end date, and I think we've reached that with Big E, especially because a smart change could set him on the path for serious singles success. He has everything needed to be a proper game changer for WWE. It's just a matter of when. To get there though, there's going to have to be a shift within Vince McMahon's head, and that's likely starts with how he's portrayed. That tiny bit of movement, and I truly believe Big E is a future main eventer, and yes, a WWE champion. And when we do arrive there, I shall do a dance of joy. And there's nothing to say he couldn't do that as part of the New Day and the persona he has now, but I think there's more here, and I want to uncover that treasure trove and dive in. Number 1, Shorty G. Being named after a biscuit has done nothing for Chad Gable. I think we can say that now with 100% certainty. He had a small run when he was fighting the corner for the little guy, but as it turned out in the land of WWE, not being tall will hold you back as people like Sheamus smash you back down to earth. Great, just flipping great. The real madness with this is that Gable had a fine gimmick before. He was a badass, legit Olympic wrestler that could outwork anyone. Before you say that's not enough, Kurt Angle would like to have a word. But obviously he's not in my house. And I know Kurt was often put in daft situations, but he was never treated as a joke in the ring. Chad is one both in and out. And sure, he did get some revenge on Baron Corbin and a decent run in the King of the Ring tournament, but you can't say this helped him. Just let him unleash in the squared circle for goodness sake. That will win over far more people than some guy dressed like a bag of Skittles. How is this hard? Know of any other wrestlers that desperately need some new gimmicks? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then head over to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles, and follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. My name is Simon from What Culture, and I will talk to you again soon.